My question is whether or not a 1-liter bottle rocket can go 40 feet in the air with baking soda and vinegar as fuel. The reaction between them creates rapidly expanding gas, which shoots the rocket upward. My hypothesis is that a ratio of 14 parts vinegar and 1 part baking soda will produce the highest launch height.
The reasoning behind this hypothesis is not a guess. I added all of the molecules that made up baking soda to get 84 AMU for sodium bicarbonate. I did the same with the vinegar and simplified them to get the ratio of 1 part baking soda and 0.7 parts vinegar. I would have simply finished that right there, but I realized that the vinegar used was only 5% acetic acid, which is needed for the launch. So I multiplied the proportional weight by 20 to get the ratio of 1 to 14.
Vinegar is an acetic acid with a chemical formula of CH3COOH. Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate with a chemical formula of NaHCO3. Mixing these two chemicals results in a chemical reaction, creating carbon dioxide, water, and a salt. For my experiments, I used a number of materials. For the rocket, I used a 1-liter bottle, 3 plywood fins taped on with Sure-Tape, a clear mixing tube with rubber plug/stand, and a nylon string tied around the bottle's neck. For fuel, I used Haynes distilled white vinegar, 5% acetic acid, and Arm & Hammer baking soda. For the launch pad, I used a white and plastic bucket and 3 identical wood blocks. For the preparation, I used 1 cloth, a chopstick, a funnel, a small measuring glass, 2 tablespoons, and a large measuring glass, 1 cup. I also used safety goggles and a measuring tape for measuring how high my rocket went. Every time I launch, the entire rocket gets dirty. I don't want any leftover chemicals, or else it will cause a reaction too soon. So what I want to do is I get some water and a chopstick and a cloth and clean it out. So wash and dry out with the chopstick and the cloth. I also rinse out the rocket. So I just fill it with water, whoosh, and pour it out. Next, I take the baking soda and I take my measure and I take out 1 tablespoon and pour it through the funnel into the tube. Next, I take Eggy here, which measures in tablespoons, fill them up with whichever amount of vinegar I need, and pour it in. Then, making sure that none of the chemicals react, I put it in here, and looking at this little mark, I would turn it around 5 times. After that, once everyone was far away, I would turn it upside down to shake out all the baking soda, turn it back up, put it in, and run away. Then it would launch. When it launches, let's say over here, we straighten out the string and use our measuring tape to see how far it goes, the string is. And then we add 1 foot to our measurements because the bucket is 1 foot tall, and we write it down. Then we simply get ready for the next experiment.
The data on the table shows that my hypothesis was correct. 1 part baking soda and 14 parts vinegar makes the rocket go highest. One problem with the data is that there were some extremes, launches that were a lot bigger or smaller than regular launches. After a series of launches, I graphed out all of the heights of the launches, the average, and the median. I soon realized that my hypothesis was correct. 1 part baking soda and 14 parts vinegar made the highest launch for both measures. Even though my hypothesis was correct, I have to say no to my question. None of the averages were above 40 feet. The conclusion to this experiment is that the 14:1 ratio of vinegar baking soda makes the rocket go the highest. However, the answer to my question, can a 1-liter rocket go 40 feet in the air, is no. I'm sure that it can be done with a larger rocket, but with a 1 liter, I just don't think that it's possible.